The Indian government implements Citizenship Amendment Act or CAA as a notification by the government has just been issued. The act has paved the way for persecuted to get Indian citizenship, persecuted minorities rather. That's the latest announcement that is coming in from the Indian government. The Citizenship Amendment Act has already been passed by Parliament, so it merely had to be notified with its rules, and that's what the government is doing now. It grants citizenship to persecuted minorities in India's neighboring countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, and these are from different religious communities except for one, which is Muslims, because they are not minorities in those countries. So this was an act which amended the Citizenship Amendment Act, rather the Citizenship Act of India in 1950, and that was already passed by Parliament. Both houses of Parliament had passed it, and now the government has decided to notify it. Dibendu, DD India's Dibendu Ghoshna joins me on live from our newsroom. On this, Dibendu, what more can you tell us about this decision? Why at this time, and what does it mean? Well, we're trying to re-establish our connection with Dibendu. Apparently his line got cut, but as you can see, this is an act that had already been passed in Parliament. It had been sort of kept in abeyance, but now the government has decided to notify the act, the Citizenship Amendment Act, and it will pave the way for a lot of these persecuted minorities who had come to India before the 31st of December 2014 from Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh. And these are people of a religious identity apart from or other than Muslim, because this category of people are in a majority in these countries. So anybody who's a Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Christian or of other faith who have come to India before the 31st of December 2014, they can be granted citizenship under this law. Now, Dibendu joins us from the newsroom. Dibendu, what more can you tell us about the timing and the implications of this decision?
Well, Gautam, that's right. You know, the government has finally notified the Citizenship Amendment Act that was passed in 2019. This was perhaps a poll promise of the BJP in 2019. It was part of the BJP's manifesto. It was soon after being elected to power in 2019, the government passed this bill in the parliament, and after almost 5 years, the government has now notified the Citizenship Amendment Act. It will be implemented across the country. Now, what does this act entail? This act basically will entail to provide citizenship to the persecuted minorities, be it from the Muslim majority countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan as well as Bangladesh. These minorities would include all minority religions in those countries, which includes the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Buddhists, the Jains and all other such persecuted minorities that have come to India or fear persecution in these three countries and have fled to India before 31st of December 2014. That was the cutoff date that was put by the government during the framing of the bill which was passed in 2019. So now we'll have to, of course, wait for the fine print of the procedure as to how the Citizenship Amendment Act will be implemented from here on. Once the Gazette notification is out, we'll get into the fine prints of the details of it. But of course, what we learn is that there will be a website through which the aggrieved citizens, or in fact the refugees who had come to India, the persecuted minority refugees who had come to India before 31st December 2014 will have to go into that website and will have to log in and put in their details to get the legal citizenship rights of India. So, of course, this is a big push by the government, of course, because the government had promised to give citizenship to the persecuted minorities in the neighboring countries of Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. There are many citizens who had come from Bangladesh and Pakistan and from Afghanistan during the many years since India's independence and had settled here, but did not have, the official legal rights to be citizens of India. So, in fact, the government has promised even in 2019 that they will make way for all the persecuted minorities in these three countries and provide them a dignified life through legal rights and through legality here in India. And of course, the Citizenship Amendment Act seeing the light of the day today, when the government finally notifies it, of course, something that will, of course, go down in history as one of the remarkable remarkable law that was passed by the Indian Parliament in 2019. Back to you.
So is there an estimate of how many people will benefit from this notification, the rules coming out, and what all will really be their benefits? Because they have been here for at least the last 10 odd years or even longer. So what advantages will be accrued to them now that they have this opportunity to become citizens of India?
Well, of course, Gautam, these are the persecuted minorities who had been coming to India since 1947. Let me go state by state. Let us first speak about Bengal. There are millions of people who had fled from Bangladesh during independence. One segment of influx of migration, Hindu persecuted minorities, fled into India from Bangladesh during the 1947 India's partition. The second influx came in during 1971 India-Bangladesh liberation war that Bangladesh and Pakistan fought, and of course India was a part of it. So these minorities in Bangladesh were being persecuted. So these are the two major influx that happened during these times, and of course from over years, they have been coming into India to seek refuge. But why citizenship now? They have been living here, as you rightly said, for so many years, but what citizenship rights will they entail? Of course, many would argue that yes, they have their Aadhaar card, they have their voter ID card, so what more do they need? But remember, Gautam, this act now legally entitles them to become a citizen of India. There will not be any more police raj, there will not be any more, they will not be troubled by the police, because they are
and they can become registered voters as well.
Of course, they can be registered voters. They can legally have their passport. They do not have to be. They will not be troubled by the intelligence division of the state, or for that matter, the police of that state for considering them as refugees. Because many a times these refugees who had come to India, they had been living at the mercy of the police in those particular states, because they are perhaps not officially and legally citizens of India, which this law, when it is being implemented from today itself, is what we are learning, is will give them that dignity, that legal right to be officially called as citizens of India.
And the other question, of course, that really is there is that since the Act was passed in 2019, kept in abeyance till now, so why now?
Well, Gautam, of course, the Home Minister had said, many a times when he was asked with this question, even in 2020, that the rules were being framed for the Citizenship Amendment Act. But however, it required meticulous exercise, because remember, it is a very thorough law which had to be the rules for which had to be meticulously drafted, because it is about giving citizenship to many, so that no wrong individual gets the citizenship of India. So the government had to meticulously design the law. And of course, the COVID-19 situation, which the world grappled with for 2 years, had of course delayed the implementation of this, as the Home Minister had on record said this. But of course, why now is of course because the government is ending its term in a couple of days from now, and it was a poll promise by the BJP during the 2019 election. It was part of the manifesto. So, it was time for the BJP to deliver it. And the BJP, for that matter, had promised to the many millions of people who voted for the BJP in 2019 that they will be given their due right of citizenship before the government seeks their vote in 2024.
Yes, and the model code of conduct will come into force the moment elections are announced, right, and then the government wouldn't have been able to do it, But The other thing is, do we know anything about the rules? Does anything really stick out in them that would be of interest to a lot of people?
Well, we haven't been able to get a copy of the fine print of the rules, which will be out very shortly from now on. But once we have the rules, we'll of course go through it thoroughly and come back to you with what the rules entail for the entire Citizenship Amendment Act. And we'll of course have more details once the fine print is in our hands.
All right, let's leave it there at the moment. Dibendu Mondal joining us and talking about how the government has decided to notify the Citizenship Amendment Act, which was passed in 2019, and now a lot of people who were persecuted in the neighboring countries in Afghanistan and Pakistan and Bangladesh will be eligible to get citizenship and can apply for it. Thanks, Dibendu.
Thank you.